If you're new to Northern Michigan, you might not have any idea about some of the dangers you will face in owning a home in Northern Michigan. Hi, I'm Geno 𝐍𝐸𝐴, a local Northern Michigan real estate agent specializing in helping you relocate to Northern Michigan. Now let's dive in. First and foremost, we should talk about snow. Snow creates a tremendous amount of problems for those of us that live in Northern Michigan in many different ways. Snow is very heavy, so you want to make sure that your roof is in good shape, that it can support the load of the snow throughout the winter. To prevent this issue, you're going to want to do regular maintenance to your roof, have great insulation, and make sure it doesn't have any issues going into the winter season. Another issue about winter in Northern Michigan is how cold it gets, and sometimes for a lot of our clients that have second homes, they can see their pipes freeze or other issues since they're not in their home during the winter time. You're going to want to make sure to check your home periodically or hire a local service that does that for you. Another danger of living in Northern Michigan are pest issues. Now, while we don't have termites above the 45th parallel because it's too cold, we do have mice, squirrels, and other rodents that can cause problems in your home. A simple way to prevent these issues is to make sure that the rodents have no way to get into your house, and also do an annual maintenance check to make sure all the holes are covered and there's nobody already living that shouldn't be living there. The time of year you're going to want to pay attention to these issues the most is the fall. When the weather goes from warm to cold, rodents are naturally going to look for a warmer habitat, which could include your house. Another issue in Northern Michigan is seasonal flooding. Now, while this isn't too common, if your home is near a body of water such as a lake or a river that the water level goes up or down given the season, you might have a little bit of flooding. Now, typically this is not catastrophic, so it's nothing to worry about tremendously, but there are water level issues from season to season. In fact, a couple of years ago, I have a friend that lives on Lake Huron, and the water was so high that he had to put sandbags in front of his house to stop the water from going in. Another danger of Northern Michigan that I often tell my clients about are septic systems. Now, if you're moving here from an urban area that has city water and city septic, you're probably not familiar with septic tanks. And sometimes, quite frankly, septic tanks get a bad rap. They're not as scary as you might believe, but you're going to want to make sure you take proper maintenance steps and pay attention to them. That way a little issue doesn't become a big one. To give you a little bit more comfort, a lot of homes in this area do have septic fields, and I rarely hear about anything bad happening. You're just going to want to make sure you get them pumped a couple of times a year, and sometimes add chemicals to the septic tank to make sure everything is taken care of the way it should be. Speaking of the septic system, another issue that you might not be familiar with are wells. A lot of homes in Northern Michigan get their water from a well versus a city water plant. Now, while you don't get a water bill from the city, you do have to pay for the cost of operating a well, such as electricity and some maintenance issues. Now, we get a lot of questions: what happens if a well dries up or fails? I'm here to tell you I've never heard of a well drying up in Northern Michigan in the 20 years that I've been selling real estate. The biggest problem that happens with wells is the pump breaks, and those usually cost anywhere between $15,000 to $2,000 to repair and are not a big deal at all. Also, when you purchase your home, you're going to want to have a water test done if the home does have a well, to make sure there's no bacteria or chloroform in the well. If the inspector does find an issue, it's a simple $100 to $200 fix. You call a well company, they come out and chlorinate the well, and everything is fine. Another issue with wells is sometimes in Northern Michigan we do have hard water, which means there's iron and other types of excess minerals in the water, and a lot of people have water softeners that remove those from the water. Another issue in Northern Michigan is radon gas. Radon gas is a common but very dangerous gas if left untreated. Now, before you freak out, we can remedy this by putting a system in your house that costs $1,000 to $2,000 that will completely mitigate the radon gas, and your breathing air will be fine again. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any more questions about the dangers of moving to Northern Michigan, or you'd like to talk to us more about what it would look like to relocate to Northern Michigan, please call me directly at 231-487-6141. Have you run into any issues owning a home in Northern Michigan, or anywhere for that matter? If so, please leave a comment and let us know what those issues were for you.